West Bloomfield Lakers are having a very, very big game tonight against the undefeated Rochester Adams, hoping to bounce back after last week's loss to the Birmingham Groves, 28-13. And we talked with Sean Beligian before the break to get his perspective on things, but now it's time to get some perspective from the team themselves. So joining us right now on The Splash, we have head coach of the West Bloomfield High School varsity football Lakers, Zach Hilbers, and offensive and defensive lineman Jeremiah Benson. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're glad to be here.
Glad to have you both with us. So, Coach Hilbers, let's get right into it. Reflecting on the game against Birmingham Groves, what are your main takeaways and how do you feel the team performed overall?
Well, I guess to answer the second part of that first, we didn't perform good enough, I guess, obviously, and we should give Groves credit. You know, they came out there, they executed what they wanted to do. Their game plan to a T and really took control of the game. And but at the same time, I don't think we weren't at our best for a variety of reasons. You know, coaching staff all week with our preparation. In hindsight, it wasn't what we needed to do to get us ready for the game and to be at our top. And we didn't execute it that well on Friday night. And when you combine all those things together, the result is kind of what happens.
Absolutely. And as always, work always is put into the team to make sure that things get better and better every single week. So what adjustments are you focusing on as you prepare to face a very tough opponent in Rochester Adams this week?
Yeah, you're right. They're a tough opponent. And it's kind of funny because I saw Coach Petrito, the Adams head coach, doing an interview, I think it was this morning when I woke up. And he said the same thing that I've kind of been thinking of, is that, you know, we really are trying to focus on us. Last week, we might have spent too much time changing our identity for our opponent. And we got to be us and be confident and do our stuff as clean and as good as we can. If we eliminate mistakes and just play good football and just stay true to like what we think makes us good, we at least know that we can compete with anyone. That includes, you know, Rochester Adams.
Of course, and I think that from what I've witnessed in watching the two games, you guys have really, really great chemistry, and the teamwork is really, really top-notch. And Jeremiah, I want to ask you this next question. Can you share your thoughts on what you've seen from the team's chemistry this season and how it's been evolving as you continue to work together on the field?
I think our team definitely has been a good chemistry just throughout the summertime, just throughout camp and stuff like that. I feel like because we have a lot of returning players from last year too, so we definitely have a lot of chemistry just building up. A lot of players are starting to find their groove, and everybody's starting to click. So I definitely see us evolving throughout the season. And we're definitely going to be a very good football team, and we definitely have a chance to win the state championship.
Of course, and if this camaraderie continues, I think you guys are going to be great. And Jeremiah, what's your mindset going into this game against Rochester Adams, and how are you preparing for it physically and mentally?
My mindset going into this game is really just trying to focus on eliminating all the mistakes that we made last game and to really just focus on being physical and actually going out and hitting them first and not letting them take it to us first. But my mindset is just to focus on really just containing them and really just making sure that we don't have no outbreak plays and that we just play our football, play the way that we've been playing it so times.
Absolutely. Just focus on the game once you're out on that field. Coach Zach Hilbers from the West Bloomfield High School Lakers and Jeremiah Benson, the offensive and defensive lineman with the Lakers, join us on The Splash this morning to talk about their upcoming match against Rochester Adams tonight. And Coach, I want to go to you right now because, like I said, Rochester Adams is a very difficult opponent. And like I was saying earlier, they are undefeated this season. What do you think are the key areas where the Lakers need to focus on in order to be successful tonight?
Good question. They're definitely a difficult opponent, and it's not like a recent one-time thing. They got a history of success. I think Coach Petrito's been there, gosh, it might be 20 years now, and they've been a tough opponent his entire tenure, and they honestly were before him too, so he's only made them better. But they're always a tough physical football team. Like as a coaching staff, we call them, they have a bunch of Adams kids. No matter what, their kids will graduate each year, and the next year there's some tough physical kid that's want to block you and he's going to tackle you. And sometimes football is that simple. Like if you block well and you tackle well, you can win. And if you can defeat blocks and avoid tackles, on the other side of that, the opposite of that, you can win. So, in a way, when we try to, like I mentioned, we want to focus on ourselves. If we do that, I know that that's their strength anyway. Hopefully, we're prepared to stop, I guess, what makes them good.
Right, of course. And you also want to make sure that every position on that field is top-notch and ready to go. And with the quarterback change in the fourth quarter against Groves that occurred last week, how do you feel about your team's depth at that position moving forward?
That was kind of a flow of the game thing. Like, we were out of rhythm offensively most of the day, to be honest, on Friday at Birmingham Groves. And Jamal and Bo have both played every single half so far this year. So that was just kind of the a flow of the game. They're both still going to play tonight, and we're going to kind of ride the hot hand and give them both a chance to really use their skills and their strengths as best as possible. So, I mean, I wouldn't put too much into that because, like I said, it was a pretty poor performance for our team all around, and we're hopefully past that. We're moving on to this week, and we haven't really thought too much about it, to be honest, since Friday night.
That's right. Last week's in the rearview mirror. Just move forward and
Yeah.
focus on the task at hand tonight. And it's great that so many members of your team had these opportunities to prove themselves on the field. And Jeremiah, going back to you for a second, because you play both offensive and defensive lineman roles, which is crazy. And I want to know what drives your performance in each of those positions.
What drives my performance definitely for each position is to know that I have a good opportunity to help my team out as best the way I can. Wherever they need me to play, I'm going to play it. Like, both sides of the ball, like, my motor is just to help us win, to do my part, and then making sure that we do what we need to do as a team. So I'm very happy to enforce that role on both sides, and that's my motive throughout the whole game, is to not let my team down, no matter what position I'm playing. So.
That's right. And going into tonight's game, and this is something to ask just throughout the season, what does the team, and this is to you, Jeremiah, what does the team need to do to come out strong and bounce back from any loss this season?
I feel like we need to mentally be focused as a team, and we need to mentally lock in and actually just actually take our opponent serious. I feel like just as a team, because I feel like after the first game, I feel like we was kind of going in with a high head, and I feel like we kind of underestimated our opponent a lot. I feel like when we win, I feel like we do that a lot. And I feel like as long as we stay grounded and stay humble, we just keep on working, and we just make sure that we just do our football no matter what the score is, no matter how good the other team is, as long as we just focus on us. I feel like that we don't have to worry about anything at all. So I feel like that's definitely it.
Absolutely. Just focus on yourself. That is great advice. West Bloomfield Lakers take on Rochester Adams tonight. We have Zach Hilbers, head coach of the Lakers, and Jeremiah Benson, offensive and defensive lineman with the Lakers, to discuss this game. I got a couple more questions for you, Coach. Do you approach road games differently compared to playing at home? And how do you plan to mentally prepare the team for the challenge of playing at Rochester Adams?
I mean, I guess honestly, we really don't approach them too differently, other than the fact that our pregame schedule is kind of accelerated because we're taking a 40-minute bus ride before we get out on the field and pregame. And you know what? They actually usually have a really good atmosphere and good student support at their home games. I kind of expect it to be that way today. But we try to keep our approach consistent because we want our mentality to be consistent. I don't care if the game's here, if it's there, if it's neutral, if it's in Chicago, if it's in Canada. It's our job to show up and get the job done. So yeah, we try not to, I guess, change it too much.
That's right. It doesn't matter where the game is, what time it is. A game is a game, and you got to tackle each one the same way. I want to thank you both so much for your time and appearing on the show today. I got one more question for you, Coach. What are some of the team's primary goals and focal points as you enter this pivotal early season matchup against the Highlanders?
Well, it's one of my beliefs that football highlights are what you see like on TV or social media, but what win and lose football games is just eliminating mistakes or forcing mistakes. So for us, it's just be clean, don't make mistakes, eliminate our penalties, and give ourselves a chance to win. And just like the belief that if we do that we got the guys in the right place to get the job done. So I guess that's our goal right now. And after last week, hopefully we got everybody kind of aiming in the same direction. We can get it done.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck to both of you guys tonight. Good luck and absolutely do your job tonight. And best of luck in the game. Once again, you can watch tonight's football game on the State Champs YouTube page. It will not be on Civic Center TV tonight, but you can watch it on the YouTube page to catch up with all the action. Coach Hilbers, Jeremiah, thank you both so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.